For me, it's like, oh, you remember all these things you love about horror movies? Well, we've got all of them. We've got possessed dolls, we've got axe murders, we've got the devil, we've got FBI flak jackets, we've got the serial killer that nobody can catch, we've got clues, we've got like weird coded letters, we've got the Bible, we've got bloody nuns, we've got shotguns, we've got all of it, man. And I think that part of that was to do this sort of presentation of pop, this kind of like this like pop parade of like greatest hits of horror, because I felt like starting with horror audiences, then hoping it bleeds out into like regular people. But
Hmm.
starting with horror audiences, they really crave it. They crave a good time. When I'm getting into a horror movie like this, I want to use the tropes and the generic sort of imperatives, but I want them to know what they are. I want them to be aware of themselves. So Longlegs, the guy, he's like some weird amalgamation of a birthday clown and a rock and roll singer. So then I'm now in the place of like, well, he's sort of in the realm of like a Pennywise, in the realm of that, I guess, but he's also sort of in the realm of Judas Priest, like we said. So just trying to find these sort of commonly accepted touchstones and then remixing them, and commenting on them and making them and being smart about them and making choices about them that are a little bit off center to make it all feel fresh again. Again, it's like my dad used to refer to people who sex chickens, and there's actually nothing you can really do to determine the sex of the chicken. The guy just either it knows what sex it is or it doesn't. Like they can touch something vaguely there, and it's like, oh, sexy, it's a male chicken, it's a female chicken. And for me, the way that one creates, it's kind of the same thing. You're kind of just putting your hands on something and say, I think that's good. I think that's right. And if it's not, I'll figure out why it's not. But I think it is. I mean, the best news of all for me with the development of the project was that on my first call with Nick, I threw it at him and I said, "Man, feel free, throw away the dialogue. Don't say anything that I wrote. You can riff on whatever you want. Let's rewrite it together." And his instant comeback was, "No, no, 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 no. I want to write it. I want to read it. I want to do all the dialogue as you wrote it." Like that's the best part.
I won't only be in here. I'll be a little bit of everywhere.
You have a regular person, like let's say Renfield, and then one day their life changes because they get the cold tap on the shoulder from the evil presence. Then their life is not theirs anymore, and they're in service, and they can't get out of service. You can't. Renfield doesn't have the option to stop being that thing, and nor does Longlegs. So the Longlegs that we meet in the present is really wasted by his experience of being the devil's henchman. It's not a good thing to be. In the same way that the old guy in Let's Write One In, he's done. He doesn't want to do it anymore. You get to a point where you don't want to do this shit anymore. It's not nice stuff. As they say in the movie, not nice things. I don't think the FBI has a department for nice things. Longlegs was a guy, Dale Cobble, we give him a name, and he was probably wanted to be a guitar player. He probably wanted to have a band. His band probably wanted to be called Longlegs. And one day he got a tap on the shoulder from the devil. The devil started coming through his headphones. The devil started coming through his records, like, in the Judas Priest sense of things. And and he had to go to work. And then we meet Ruth Harker, who had it, she's the same, another familiar. And so it's really just sort of the devil's handymen and women at the ends of their tether, you know? part of the joke of this movie is that it sounds of the lambs until it's not. And when I say joke of the movie, it's very much, it's meant to be a gag. Like the gag is, oh, it sounds of the lambs, of course. Look, it's the scene where she goes into her boss's office and looks at the evidence wall. Oh, look, she's the overmatched young female protagonist FBI agent. Oh, it's the same thing. And then it's totally not.